Little known fact, I was actually a Turning Point client in 2008. That's how I began my journey here. That was the beginning of the end of my addiction. And I had started struggling with drugs and alcohol at the age of 13, pretty much used consistently for 20 years. Towards the end, every terrible thing that a person could experience as a result of that, I had been through. Couldn't hold down a job, been cut off by my family, didn't have any meaningful relationships. I was basically living off the charity of others. My health was starting to decline, and all I could think about, was practically obsessed about, was drinking and using cocaine. So I'd been in and out of the rooms of AA for a very long time. I had a lot of personal issues with the culture of recovery in AA, and my folks felt it was a good idea that I went back to treatment. But I just told my dad, I'm not going to do it again. Why waste all that money and that time, and why should I subject myself to that when I had already been twice and I knew it wasn't going to work? And so he asked me, if there was any condition under which I was willing to go, and I said, well, if you can find a non-12-step program, then I'll give it another shot. And you always hear this cliche that people have to get sober for themselves, but to be completely honest, in that moment, my mom and dad and my brother and my other immediate family members were really the only people that I was willing to get sober for, because I had gone so far down the scale that there was no self-worth or self-value to salvage. So I did it for them, but I'm glad I came, and from the moment that I got here, I realized that this place was different. It wasn't about breaking me down to build me back up. I could be myself, and there was value in that. I didn't have to change everything that I knew, because the fact of the matter is that there were some parts of my life that were working for me, and there were some parts of my identity that I wasn't willing to relinquish, right? I just didn't want to be horribly addicted to drugs and alcohol, and I didn't want to be sentenced to that death. So it took some time, definitely was resistant to treatment. The therapists were extremely passionate about helping me, and eventually what happened to me is one day I saw this woman who had a lot of very severe psychiatric issues, and she was a cutter, so she was in self-harm. She had a lot of very impulsive, sort of over-the-counter medication type addictions. I saw her let go of a tremendous amount of guilt and shame that she had been carrying around since she was a little girl, and I realized, wow, how liberating that must be. And I was inspired, and I thought, well, if she can do it, I can do it too. That was really where my journey began on that day in our little 8-bed facility down the road. After I got out of treatment, I got sober. I became involved in the local recovery community. I actually got a job at another facility unrelated to this one. After working there for approximately a year, the owner of Turning Point Centers recruited me to come work for him, and I thought, what a perfect fit. Why would I not want to represent a program that saved my life, and one that I can speak genuinely and authentically about? So I'm honored that I'm the CEO of this place today. Honestly, my number one priority is to make sure that every single individual that comes through our doors gets the same chance to get their life back, just like I did.